Hello students, today we are going to discuss about male reproductive system part 2. In previous lecture we have already discussed about primary sex organ of a male, and today we are going to discuss about secondary sex organ of a male. Okay, that include male accessory genital gland and external genitalia. Okay, so first of all let me discuss about male accessory genital gland, which include seminal vesicle, prostate gland, Cowper's gland, that is also called bulbourethral glands. First of all, we will start with the seminal vesicle. So here you can see seminal vesicle present in a pair. Okay, so it present posterior inferior to the urinary bladder. Okay, so this is the urinary bladder, and is the posterior inferior part, it will be present, and they are present in the pair. Okay, so our pair of a simple tubular gland. Here you can see this is a purple color border. Okay, this is the seminal vesicle. So the seminal vesicle secrete alkaline viscous fluid. Okay, so be very clear. It will secrete alkaline viscous fluid that form 60% of a semen. Okay, so what is 60% of a semen? It is a seminal vesicle secretion, and that is alkaline viscous fluid. Okay, why it is alkaline and what is the importance of alkaline viscous fluid, we will discuss in later lectures. The fluid contains fructose. Be very clear about these contents. Okay, what is the content of a seminal vesicle? The fluid contain fructose, protein, citric acid, inorganic phosphorus and potassium, and also it will contain prostaglandins. So be very clear about these all contents present in the seminal vesicle secretions. Seminal vesicle secretion, which is alkaline in nature, one of the content is a fructose. Okay, so fructose act as a main energy source for the sperms outside the body. So sperm will get nutrition from the fructose, and as a result of that, that is a main energy source outside the body. Second composition is a prostaglandin. It is one kind of a chemical which causes mucous lining of the cervix to be more receptive to the sperm cells. Okay, as well as by the aiding the movement of a sperm cells towards the ovum with peristaltic contraction of a uterus and fallopian tube. So this is very important for the fertilization event. So prostaglandin causes mucous lining of the cervix to be more receptive to the sperm cells, as well as by aiding movement of sperms. So sperm motility is depend on the prostaglandins. Okay, and towards the ovum with a peristaltic contraction of a uterus and fallopian tube. Second gland is a prostate gland. The prostate contributes 50 to 30% of the semen. Okay, and it is only one gland. Okay, not in a pair. It is just one gland situated here, you can see. Okay, and it is below the urinary bladder. Here you can see this is a urinary bladder, and below the urinary bladder, one prostate gland will be situated, and it is responsible for 50 to 30% of the semen content. Next gland is a Cowper's gland, or it is also considered as a bulbourethral gland, and you can see here. Okay, so it is below the prostate gland at the beginning of the internal portion of the penis. So at the beginning of the penis and at the below portion of the prostate gland, in between this prostate gland and the penis, in between this you can see here a bulbourethral gland is situated, and it is in the pair. So what is the role of a Cowper's gland or a bulbourethral gland? So it will secrete an alkaline fluid. Okay, as we have discussed that semen itself is alkaline food, and most of this alkalinity is due to Cowper's gland. Okay, the secretion is helping in the lubrication, the urethra, and act as a flushing agent. So this is playing very important role during the movement or a motility of a sperm cell inside the vagina. It washes the acidic urinary residues present in the urethra before the ejaculation. Next important organ of a male reproductive system is a penis, and that is also secondary sex organ which help in the sexual intercourse. Okay, and it is, as it is outside the body, it is also called as a male external genitalia because it is extra abdominal, means it is outside the abdomen. Okay, so what is including external genitalia? External genitalia include penis as well as scrotum. Okay, and that is also called male copulatory organ, which help in the sexual intercourse. It serves as a urinary duct, means it will also pass urine, and also intromittent organ that transfers spermatozoa. So in case of a male, penis is the organ which will pass urine also and also pass the spermatozoa. So penis have a dual function. It also act as a urinary duct and also transfer the spermatozoa. So by this we can say penis having a dual function in case of a male. So now let me discuss about penis in detail, in the internal structure of a penis in detail. So if you take cross section of a penis, you can see it is made up of 3 columns of a tissues. Okay, that is a muscle tissue actually. So mainly 2 muscle tissues will be found inside the penis structure. Okay, here you can see one corpora cavernosa here. Okay, at the dorsal side, that is a paid and upper side, and the dorsal side, that is a corpus or a corpora cavernosa. Okay, and here ventral side you will observe one type of muscle tissue, and that is a corpus spongiosum. Okay, that is a single ventral side and they possess the urethra. Inside this you can see here the urinary opening is there, that is called urethra. So in the ventral side urinary opening or urethral opening will be found. So this is all structure, and all 3 muscles together will be covered with the tunica albuginea. Okay, it will be covered with the tunica albuginea. This is the whole structure of a penis. So if you study internal structure or a cross section of a penis, you will observe 2 muscles at the dorsal side and 1 muscle at the ventral side. 2 muscle at the dorsal side is called corpus cavernosa. Okay, and at the ventral side you will observe corpus spongiosum. In the middle of the corpus spongiosum you will observe urethra. Okay, and all these structure will be covered with the tunica albuginea. So now let me try to understand what is the role of these muscles. Okay, the corpora cavernosa consists of a special tissue with the spaces that are filled with the blood. Okay, this is filled with the blood, and they help in erection during the intercourse. Okay, they help in the erection of a penis to facilitate the insemination inside the vagina. Okay, so these play very important role during the sexual intercourse. If you study penis externally, you will observe one more structure, and that is glans penis. Okay, that is you will observe from the external structure. At the tip of a penis, here you can see, suppose this is a penis. On the tip of the penis here, the structure will be observed, and that is called glans penis, and that is also called head of the penis. Okay, at the tip of a penis, corpus spongiosum is enlarged and forming a bulbous structure, and that is called bulbous structure is called glans penis. Here you can see that is the head of a penis, and it is covered by a foreskin. Okay, that is also called prepuce. Okay, so glans penis is covered by prepuce, or it is also called foreskin. So now let me revise all the structure of a male reproductive system, whether it is primary sex organ or a secondary sex organ. Okay, so first of all here you can see a seminal vesicle. Okay, that is present in the pair. Then prostate gland, it will be only one. Okay, then here you can see this is the urethra. Then vas deferens here you can observe. Okay, then testicle, this is testes. Then epididymis here. Okay, this is the scrotal bag. Here you can observe scrotal bag. Okay, then here a corpus spongiosum inside the penis, then corpus cavernosum, then this is the urinary bladder, and finally this is the structure of a head of a penis, that is the glans penis, and finally it is covered with the foreskin. This is all about male reproductive system. So this is your homework for today's lecture, and before we finish this lecture, let me summarize whole topic by using one animation video. So look at this video.
The epididymis leads to vas deferens that ascends into the abdomen and curves around the ureter and loops over the urinary bladder. It extends backwards and receives the duct from the seminal vesicle and finally opens into the urethra as an ejaculatory duct. The neck of the urinary bladder, ejaculatory duct, and prostate gland open into the urethra or urinogenital canal. The urethra extends through the penis to its external opening called the urethral meatus or urinogenital aperture. The urethra is the common passage for urine and semen. The male accessory glands include a pair of seminal vesicles, a prostate, and a pair of bulbourethral glands. They secrete seminal fluid that contains fructose and prostaglandins. The prostate gland is present at the base of the urinary bladder around the base of the seminal vesicle. It opens into the urethra through many ducts. The prostatic fluid contains calcium, citrate, and phosphate ions. The bulbourethral glands or Cowper's glands are pea-sized structures lying posterior to the prostate gland and at the base of the penis. Their secretions help in the lubrication of the penis. The external genitalia in males is called the penis. The penis is a copulatory organ and is covered by a loose sheath of skin. The skin that hangs over the tip of the penis is known as the prepuce or foreskin. It is made up of special tissues like corpora cavernosa and corpus spongiosum. The tip of the penis, covered by the prepuce, is called the glans penis. The penis, urethra, vas deferens, and Cowper's gland together help in copulation and in the deposition of sperm within the female.
In next lecture, we will learn about female reproductive system part 1. So till that, goodbye.